Hi y'all, I'm Chase, and this is my 2017 Road King with Milwaukee-Eight 107. And today, we're going to put a new air cleaner on her. It is from Revzilla. Alright, we're going to open it and, well, let's see what we got. And we have a Vance Hines VO2 intake. It's actually a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. So, yeah, I guess this is also an unboxing video. Let's see how it comes. Is this taped or anything? Nope, doesn't look like it. And, nope, that's how it comes packed. Yeah, it looks like the filter in the backing. Some instructions, which of course I will definitely not read. Some stickers. And, oh, there's the rest of it. So, yeah, that's a lot of box for packing that, but hey, whatever, as long as it keeps the stuff safe and it gets to me okay, that's all that matters. So I'll be bypassing these breather bolts. I'm gonna put a external breather on it. I might end up running breather bolts themselves with the little filters in them, but right now I do have a little breather canister for the stuff to exhaust in, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. So first things first, let's get the original cover off. I gotta take this off. This is a HW 8-bit. I don't know. I think it's 5/8 or something like that. It's pretty big, but just make sure you don't scratch the tank or any of that crap. It's pretty easy to take off. It says that I can't. Oh, that sucked. Oh, good, didn't scratch nothing. Okay, take this off. All right. And here's where my breather bolts are exhausting into right now. I'm gonna have to pull this off, so that comes off pretty easy. And next I have to pull these off. I think those might be, we'll see, a T30 or something. It's a T27. Now I had a Drag Specialties air filter in here, but I just don't think it was flowing enough air. And with the box on the side here, this big, huge monster box, I think it's blocking a lot of airflow that would go to the heads, at least the inside of the heads, and I think that was a problem I was having. Any more airflow you can get to the motor is good for it. Next thing is to take out these. These are the breather bolts. Otherwise, this will not come off. You are going to need a deep well 7/16. Wow. I'm thinking somebody had these out before. That is a lot of, well, what looks to be, I don't know, Teflon tape maybe? I don't know. So I'll be putting Teflon tape on, at least. And that's out. Now, let's see if this comes off. Ah, it came off. Oh, good. I guess that's it. Okay, here's all the parts I need. Well, all the parts that came with it laid out. Let's see. Now, when does that come in? I wonder where those are going to go. Let's look at the instructions. Oh, maybe they go in there, those two holes. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, I guess they do. Those two hoses go in here, these two holes. I'm going to try to... I might have some plugs for these holes. I'm going to run my breather bypass. And we'll see if... well, we're just going to run my breather bypass. I'll probably run it somewhere else on the bike, but, I mean, yeah, it'll work. Alright, next thing is to put in the breather bolts. Breather, bleed bolts, whatever they want to call them. It's, what do they call them in this? Let's say cylinder head bleed bolts. Everybody else calls them breather bolts, but we're breather, bleed bolts, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to put in these breather bolts, or breather bleed bolts, or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to put some Loctite on them so they don't come loose, and some Teflon tape so that they seal properly. It says to go between 120 to 144 inch-pounds for the torque. Do not put your torque wrench to 132 foot-pounds. It is 132 inch-pounds is what I'm putting mine at. That's 11 foot-pounds. So just make sure you don't do 132 foot-pounds, because you will probably snap the bolts off or break the head or do something really bad. So, and they're pretty easy to install. Like I said, do not put these in at 120 to 144 foot-pounds. You will probably either snap off the bolts or snap the head or something very bad along those lines. That is in inch-pounds. So in foot-pounds, it's, well, it's between 10 and 12 foot-pounds. So that's where you want to be, 10 and 12 foot-pounds. And that's where I'm going to be. Actually, I'm going to be dead at 11 because I'm a weirdo and I like to do things right in the middle. So, okay, I'm just going to tighten this down to where it's, well, slightly tight. I'm not going to wrench on it at all. I'm going to use the torque wrench for that. All right, now, time for the torque wrench. The other reason I always go in the middle is because I don't trust any torque wrench. Doesn't matter how new or what brand, I just don't trust it. So somewhere in the middle is probably good enough. And that way you don't tear something up. You don't go overboard messing something up. So, and there we are. That's 11 foot-pounds. That's it. That should stay tight. So, yeah, 11 foot-pounds. Do not do 120 to 144 foot-pounds. You will break something. I repeat that again. Do not do that. That is all bad. So, next thing is to put all the bracketry and all that stuff on. We'll just kind of put that on real quick and see. But you know what? Before I do that, since I have all this off here and look how nasty it looks, I'm going to clean all this up. Okay, now, this goes on first, gasket right here, and then this goes on next. This has to clear that. Now the thing is, normally these breather bolts, they would have two hoses that feed into the top of this right here. And well, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to run an external breather, and I'm going to run it through there and out through the other side, so it hangs underneath my my horn cover. So what I'm going to do is, well, actually, I've already done it. I tapped these out. I actually had some bolts laying around that just about fit that I couldn't screw in. I had a tap that matched them. I couldn't tell you what the tap and bolt was. I don't know. It doesn't have any markings on it. My guess is it was something that was made in China. I picked up at a yard sale or something. But I didn't have to drill it, but I just tapped it, threw the bolts in with some blue Loctite and a little bit of, well, not a little bit, quite a bit of Teflon tape because, well, I used to work for fixing medical equipment, and air, like water, finds a way in. So we would always seal everything with Teflon tape. So that's what I did here. It's sealed with Teflon tape. So now I'm going to put everything on. I will be using Loctite on all of this stuff because you don't want any of it to come off. You can use regular blue Loctite, I think. I don't think that's going to cook off. But I did use blue Loctite on these. And since these are in what you would call a semi, vertical position, I don't think they're going to rattle out. They'd have to unscrew themselves and go up. Most bolts don't do that. If it was upside down, then I would probably worry. I thought about just using some rubber plugs. I had a couple. I would have had to put bolts through them to expand the rubber. But rubber, unfortunately, degrades over time and disintegrates. And, well, I've seen it on cars. I worked on cars a lot in my life, and old cars, heat, especially from a very hot motor, disintegrates rubber like you wouldn't believe. So I decided to go with these bolts. I did have to grind them down on my grinder, so that was the other thing. You want to make sure that these bolts, the head, does not come into contact with the backing plate, which I'll get right now. Now this is the backing plate. What you want to do is make sure that the bolt heads are not coming into contact with that backing plate. Now, you should be able to hold it up, and if you don't see if you see light coming through on the inside from the bolt head in between, you can see light through them, you should be fine. So you should be able to see light in between this and this, between these two bolts. If you don't, it's not going to seal, and you're going to be sucking crap into your engine, and you're going to be really sorry. So, all right, let me get this put all together. This is kind of a pain in the ass. It's like you got to stack everything. It's just goofy as hell. So, but we'll get it started. Okay, this is the correct sequence for it. You want this little plate, then the main backing plate, then this, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. The silver turbinator. I don't know what they want to call it. Air, whatever. I'm thinking it's supposed to, I don't know, make the air a little bit less turbulent. Then the air filter holder plate, and you have to make sure that this goes on first. That goes right there. So this goes here, and then that is how you put it on. Now we're going to put some Loctite on this. I think we can be liberal with this, and we're going to get it started. Of course, I definitely got some Loctite in my mouth because, well, that always happens for some reason, and it is delicious and sweet. I would not recommend eating it, but hey, whatever. It always happens to me. So it is a 3/16 Allen head. Now you don't want to screw all these down one at a time all the way. You want to make sure you get them all started so they're not cockeyed or anything like that. You can tell pretty much right away if it's screwed in right. And never use an impact. I think the throttle body on this is plastic, and if it's not, it's aluminum, and an impact will mess it up like you'd never believe. So, but these all screwed in nice and easy. So they are not cross-threaded. Make sure you don't cross-thread them, or you'll be replacing the whole intake. All right, now, what is the inch pounds that this is supposed to be set to? The backing plate screws. Okay, got all that. 55 to 60 inch pounds. Well, 60 inch pounds I'm thinking is 5. That's 5 foot-pounds. So 60 inch pounds or 5 foot-pounds. Yeah, you don't want to use an extension on these as well, as little extension as possible, because that kind of screws up the torque settings a little bit. So I'm using this because, well, it's all I got. And you want to go around and kind of give them all a little twist to make sure that they're seated very slowly. You don't want to just go and torque each one down right away. You want to kind of give them a little help all the way in to make sure that they're nice and well seated. Okay, now that feels like they're in there pretty good, so I'm going to start torquing them. Oh, there it is, 5 pounds. And it's not a whole lot. It's, I mean, you're literally going into plastic. There it is. There we go. I'm going to go just check one more time just for shits and giggles. Alright, I didn't see any movement. At least I don't think I did. It's tight. Yeah, just to make sure that they're nice and evenly tightened. Oh, and no movement. Okay, that's 5 foot-pounds. So that part's done. Now, we've got to put the filter on. Let's go back to the filter. It comes with screws, so you can tighten it down. And they are, let's see, correct size is a 5/32. Allen head or Allen bit, I don't know what you want to call it. Gotta get that lined up. That is lined up. Awesome. Okay, now I don't like the way that feels. It's best sometimes to just run a screw through to make sure it's right. And I don't think this is drilled properly. I might have to run a tap through it because they painted it. Let's see if I can throw this on there and... Yeah, it's got paint in it, so it's going to be a pain in the ass to get through, so not such a good idea to throw paint in there, but sometimes, you know, stuff happens, especially when you're working with other people's parts. Now, let's see. Where are we looking at here? There we go. Let's try this again. Unfortunately, there's paint in there, so it kind of puts everything in a bind. Oh, maybe not. That screw's rotating at an odd angle. Maybe they didn't put paint in it. Or maybe there's paint in it, and it wasn't properly drilled in the first place. So we're going to get a tap and see if I can tap that out. I had to run a tap through every single one of the holes because every single one of them was filled with, well, paint, and the screw did not want to go in that way. So, lesson learned. And the screw itself, the head, is also off kilter, off center. Just something to be aware of so you don't freak out when you're trying to screw it in. So yeah, that kind of sucks, but it'll go in now, I think. Let's throw this up on there. Yeah, that's a lot better. Huh. That's gonna suck, I think. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, because it looks like these screw holes are off. I hope not. Let's loosen that one back up. This is not filling me with confidence. Unless I got this on there wrong, which I don't think I do. I mean, I'll swap it around and see if there's another way for this to go on there, but that looks like it's such an odd angle that it has to go that way. We'll try this again. All right, that's on there. That is not going in there. I am going to have to drill this out, because it does not fit. Doesn't matter how much I try to. Good job, Vance Hines. I was kind of hesitant because, you know, I'd had problems with Vance Hines products before, but okay, that one's in. You're gonna have to put them on with the thing super duper loose. Otherwise you will not get them in. That's not going in. Let's try this again. I mean, honestly, this is insane. I shouldn't have to struggle with anything this much. If I wasn't almost all the way there, I would stop now and just say screw this and send it back, but I've already done some modifications, so I can't really send it back. And this will not go in. It just won't. It's like it's... Turn this out a little bit. Maybe turn this out a little bit. We can try it. I'm not filled with confidence here. I don't know how guys are getting these on. and not screaming their heads off at Vance and Hines. I mean, I like it because it's a naked filter, but this is, let's just call it, it's getting a little insane, because this shouldn't be. Okay, I got it in there. Oh, great. Now I gotta loosen it so I can tighten the other ones. This is gonna be a... If I ever have to take this off, I'm gonna have a meltdown, probably. I have to screw this down very gingerly, let's call it. Yeah, it's not screwing down. I'm gonna have to open this hole on this a little bit because this is ridiculous. So I'm gonna have to pull all these out, drill this hole just a hair. So good job, Vance and Hines. You guys did a great job on this. My disappointment is immeasurable. Yeah, at this point, it's beyond ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do any modifications. This thing should have went right on. And it still won't line up all the way. It kind of half-ass lines up here or there. Now, let's try this again. I've moved up to 5/16, and it may seat now. So 5/16 is apparently where it has to be. This is beyond ridiculous at this point. I shouldn't have had to do any of this stuff, but hey, whatever. The screws are all cattywampus too. The damn heads are off center. I don't know where you guys are getting your parts from, but man, this is some real prime crap. And that one's screwed in better. Let's try this one. Okay, looks like it might go in. Maybe. We'll see. Hell, kids, we might have actually done it. Of course, this is insane that I had to do this. I shouldn't have had to do any of this. And they are mostly tight. Now, for the those bolts, the button head cap screws, they are 55 to 60 inch-pounds. I think I mentioned that before. 60 inch-pounds is 5 foot-pounds. Yeah, I am, let's just say I am beyond disappointment at this point. There's 5. I bought it because it looked good and it would be easy to use the way I want. Okay, let's check these again. I wanted to bypass the breather bolts, or the breather bolts going into the intake and just flooding it with trash. And I have been quite disappointed. So I'm going to, let's see. Now I'm gonna run this, and I'm gonna turn this off because I'm just frustrated at this point, and I'm tired of dealing with subpar parts that cost quite a bit from places. So, all right, I'll be back when I'm done. Well, it finished it up, and I'm disappointed, of course. I got it done. I ended up using my my cover from my old Dyna. It actually looks good. I can't believe it. So yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, it actually looks really good. Now I did run my my breather bolts. These are the original little ones, that the hoses that Harley gives you. They did fit right on there, and I ran it through underneath. There's no moving parts under there, so, and I used some silicone high heat hose and ran it across, down. I put a piece of Gorilla Tape right here where the it's not really supporting anything. There's not really any weight, and I put my my catch can down here. You can see that. And my catch can's down here now, so that's out of the way. Okay, well, it's done, and I will say this: it looks really good. Being able to bypass those breather bolts. Now, I might get some of the kind that just have a little filter in the bolt itself and replace these with those, but right now I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks good. I'll say that. It does look good. I mean, I'm genuinely surprised that it looks as good as it does. But I am disappointed, really. It shouldn't have been as messed up as it was. I kind of expected more, you know, but I've just been let down by Vance Hines too many times. Maybe they'll contact me and, I don't know, fix it or something. I don't know. They build stuff that looks nice, but build quality needs to seriously improve. For something that's, you know, 180 bucks plus tax and shipping and everything, it was, you know, you're talking about a couple $100 at least. And I mean, I got one for my Dyna and my Sportster. I got stuff for, you know, $100, and it was much better as far as build quality, and everything went together perfectly. This is, I mean, really, honestly, it's disappointing. And especially after the exhaust on my Dyna, it developed a leak. The paint started just flaking off on it. I'm just disappointed with Vance Hines. I keep giving them chances, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, right now I'm happy with the way it looks. It looks pretty good. So I'll leave it with that. I guess that's going to be all. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff helps with the YouTube algorithm. I need the help. So yeah, flick that ding-a-ling if you want to be notified of any new videos I come out with, and well, bye y'all.